Namaste. I, Nitika Chatwal, Assistant Professor, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, is here to deliver the lecture on micromeritics. I am from Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and this topic is in Physical Pharmaceutics, second Unit 4, micromeritics. Now, this lecture is continuation of previous lecture, micromeritics. In this lecture, we study density of powders. Density is defined as weight per unit volume. During tapping, particles gradually peak more efficiently. The powder volume decreases and the tap density increases. What are the types of density? They are two types, true density and bulk density. In true density, the true density or absolute density of a sample include the volume of the pores and voids within the powder sample. And in bulk density, the bulk density value includes the volume of the pores within the powder sample. Flow properties of powder. What are the flow properties of powder? Powders may be free flowing or cohesive. Means cohesive means what? It is sticky. Many common manufacturing problems are attributes to powder flow, powder transfer through large equipment such as hopper. When the powder is has uneven flow, excess entrapped air within powder causes capping or lamination. Uneven powder flow causes increased particle friction with die wall, causing lubrication problems and increases dust contamination risk during powder transfer. Flow properties of powder in this powder storage, which for example result in caking tendencies within a vial or bag after shipping or storage time. Separation of small quantity of the powder from the bulk specifically just before the creation of individual dose, such as during tableting, encapsulation, and while filling, which affect the weight uniformity of the dose under or over dosage, right? Now, what are the tests to evaluate the flowability of a powder? If powder has a good flowability, or if it has low flowability, then what are the measure to test the powder flowability? These are of three types. For example, first one is Carr's compressibility index, which we study earlier in our previous topics. Second one is Hausner ratio. The third one is angle of repose, means theta. In Carr's compressibility index, a volume of powder is filled into a graduated glass cylinder and repeatedly tapped for a known duration. The volume of powder after tapping is measured. So, what is the formula of Carr's index? The formula of Carr's index is Carr's index, that is in percentage, equals to tap density minus poured or bulk density divided by tap density into 100, where bulk density is weight upon bulk volume, right? If we know bulk density, then we can calculate easily what is the Carr's index, right? Now, what is tap density? Tap density is weight of the volume divided by total volume, right? Now, Carr's index has many flowcharts or table in which excellent flow has percentage compressibility, which ranges between 5 to 15, and in good flow description, it has percentage of compressibility in between 16 to 18, and in fair flow description, percent compressibility ranges between 19 to 21. In poor flow description, it ranges between 22 to 35, and in very poor it ranges between 36 to 40, and in extremely poor flow, it percent compressibility is higher than 40, right? This is the relationship between powder flowability and percentage compressibility. By this chart or this table, we can know what is the percent compressibility and flow description of a powder. Now, what is Hausner's ratio? Hausner's ratio is equals to tap density upon pore or bulk density. This is the formula of Hausner's ratio, in which Hausner's ratio was related to interparticle friction. Value less than 1.25 indicates good flow, where this is equals to 20% Carr's index, right? In Hausner's ratio, the powder with low interparticle friction, such as coarse spheres, value greater than 1.5 indicates poor flow, equals to, that is 33% Carr's compressibility index. More cohesive or less free-flowing powders such as flakes that raises between 1.25 and 1.5. In this, added glycan normally improves flow. Glycans are what? These agents are those which improve flow properties of any powder or any chemical. If Hausner's ratio is higher than 1.5, then glidant adding doesn't improve any flow property of any powder, because higher than 1.5 Hausner's ratio doesn't allow any improvement in flow properties. Now, what is the angle of repose, which is denoted by what? Theta. The sample is poured onto the horizontal surface and the angle of the resulting pyramid is measured. If we pour something above the cone, then the pyramid is formed below and this pyramid is measured, and that is called what? Angle of theta or angle of repose. The user normally selects the funnel orifice through which the powder flows slowly and reasonably constantly, right? The user normally selects the funnel orifice through which the powder flows slowly and reasonably, right? The user mainly The user normally mainly selects the funnel orifice through which the powder flows slowly and reasonably constantly, right? Now, angle of repose, if it is less than 20, then the flow will be excellent. And angle of repose will, when it will be 20 to 30 in range, then the flow will be good. And if the angle of repose is in between 30 to 40, then the flow will be pass flow. And if the angle of repose is greater than 40, then the flow will be poor. The rougher and more irregular the surface of the particles, the higher will be the angle of repose. Right? What I say? The rougher and more irregular the surface of the particles, the higher will be the angle of repose. Right? Now, what are the factors that affect flow properties of a powder? So, they are directly proportional to how we improve the flow properties of a powder or flowability of a powder, right? Particle size and distribution, particle shape and texture, surface forces, flow activators. These are the factors that affect the flow properties of powder, right? Now, factors affecting the flow properties of powder, they alter particle size and distribution, they alter particle shape and texture, they alter surface forces and formulation additives also, that are flow activators. Now, alteration of particle size and distribution. There is certain particle size at which powder's flow ability is optimum. Coarse particles are more preferred than fine ones as they are less cohesive. The size distribution can also be altered to improve flowability by removing a proportion of the fine particles fraction or by increasing the proportion of coarse particles such as occurs in granulation. Now, let's go towards now alteration of particle shape and texture. Particle shape, generally more spherical particles have better flow properties than more irregular particles. Spherical particles are obtained by spray drying or by temperature cycling crystallization. Spray drying is a technique to dry the particles or spheres or granules that are prepared to produce a tablet or capsules, right? Now we see what are the particle textures. Particles with very rough surfaces will be more cohesive and have a greater tendency to interlock than smooth surface particles. Alteration of surface forces. By altering surface forces, there is a reduction of electrostatic charges that can improve powder flowability. Electrostatic charges can be reduced by altering process condition to reduce frictional contact. Moisture content of particle greatly affects powder flowability. Adsorbed surface moisture films tend to increase bulk density and reduce porosity. Drying the particles will reduce the cohesiveness and improve the flow. Hygroscopic powder stored and professional under low humidity conditions, right? This is all about factors affecting the flow properties of powder. If you have any queries, please comment below. And after getting this section, you can make your own notes to study further. Right? Thank you so much. Okay. We will meet in next lecture. Thank you.